Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. Really quickly guys, just want to remind you guys, if you didn't check out this week's weekly comic book haul, from this next week's indie review on, the recaps are going to be put on hold, and all the books that we've been reviewing on the recaps, Transformers, Zenescope, Star Wars until it ends at the end of August, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be returning to the indie reviews right here because we're going to be focusing a lot on the Street Fighter summer event, and we need the extra time to focus on them, so we're going to be sticking the books back in the indie review where they originated from.
Yep.
And with that, I'm not going to waste any more time. We are going to be discussing books that came out the last week of June 25th, 2014. We got a lot of physical copies. Well, we got a few physical copies. We got a lot of digital copies, so let's waste no time. Invincible, issue number 112. This was an awesome issue. Machine Man is not even taking names. He's just killing everyone in the Invincible universe. He basically eliminated tons of the Guardians of the Galaxy, or the Guardians of Earth, or whatever they were called already. Monster Woman, Amanda, goes to Rex, and Rex is telling her how it was so easy, how it was better when they took over the, I forgot what it was called, the Flaxen dimension, and it would be better if they did the same thing there. And she doesn't know that he's already doing stuff on Earth. He's basically just distracting her with telling her, you know, maybe it'd be better, we should do this, and then, I forgot what his name is, Tiger tries to kill Rex and fails, and that's when Monster Girl finds out that he didn't even ask her, he just basically was doing it, and he said it would have been easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. She doesn't go along with this, obviously, and he ends up killing her. That's a her, by the way, if you didn't know that's her.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah, just
see.
I just remembered that part.
I don't know if it's a he, she. I don't know. I remember I jumped into the universe early, but basically, Machine Man is destroying everything that we all know from the original Invincible universe, and he's leaving a lot of chaos in his wake, so it's going to be very interesting to see how things continue forward with Invincible. Invincible wasn't even in this issue. Mark wasn't, no one, and I'm really curious to see what happened from the last issue. So, hopefully next issue, well, it looks like they're going to be jumping back to where Mark is, but it was... the issue before was crazy. This one was even crazier.
Okay, Archie Comics, Dawn of X, issue number 2 of 4 of Mega Man, issue number 38, where we jump into the future Mega Man to the present day Mega Man. So it starts off in the adult Mega Man, where he sees the future of what probably happened to himself. And there's lots of stuff that are going on, and he wants to head to the surface because there's a robot that's gonna be destroying the tourists outside. And Mega Man, acting quickly, he goes outside and helps out. Also, he sends Sigma sends Zero and Vile to help him out. The artwork's amazingly drawn. And so yeah, so he sends both of them out to help Mega Man. And you know, there's just lots of stuff where I think that Zero is a good leader of like, you know, like giving directions of what to do, and he tells Mega Man to step back because, you know, he might get hurt and stuff like that. Whereas we go to the present day Mega Man, I'm gonna say present day and future day because I'm not gonna say.
I thought the X universe was a separate universe, not a future.
Well, it's separate, but it says 21XX, and this is 20XX, so present day is 2000, whereas future is 2000.
I would just say Mega Man X and Mega Man.
Yeah, so basically Mega Man, you know, is now defeating the robots that he put in the code where Dr. Wily's saying, "Oh, I didn't know that was going to attack you," where you could tell he's going back to the villain thing. And I called it throughout a mile or so that he was going to go back to being a villain. Because who didn't see that coming? So, and then there's this other thing where this guy goes through Mega Man between issues back, the worlds collide with Sonic, and everything else. Whereas he goes to Mega Man X's universe, where the robot apocalypse was there, and things don't look like he didn't want this to happen, so to say. And now that's to be continued. Mega Man alive, but for how long? X returned. Dr. K and the mysteries uncovered. Xander, a man out. Oh, Xander, his name is a man out of time, living his nightmare. And from what I see, it's going to get wilder in the next Mega Man comic book. Short Circuits was really, like a great. Like it wasn't funny. It was more
Mega Man looks like he's doing really, really well. Sonic, yeah, but Mega Man looks like it's definitely pulling a strong.
Yeah, so this one actually is really pulling strong points in this.
Strong title, I meant, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to give too much away. Ghostbusters Master Part 5, issue number 17, which is from IDW. A comic series that's unfortunately going to be canceled, which I don't like very much.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody does. And this issue was really just... It was almost Book of the Week for physical copies. And I'll get to the best one after this one. Ray is living through some type of dreams and stuff like that. Like zoning out, so to say. And they think it's something that has to do with Tiamat and stuff like that. And basically he talks about Horde Island. That's a... and stuff that goes on there, and to go investigate while they're putting Dana and Lewis under observations because Tiamat's entities might still be infecting them, and Egon wants to be sure of that because you never know. And then it's just Ray going to a world where there's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The artwork's really fantastically drawn. This person he meets, I think it's Tiamat, how this ghost just transforms into like everything of their past. And I'll get to more of that when we get into it. So they're fighting ghosts, and we get Vigo.
The Scolari brothers. Wait, no, that was the Scolari brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Scolari brothers. And then on the bottom here, then we get Vigo, who makes an appearance in this comic book. And then they try just to get rid of, Tiamat and everything, but it's just not working out so well. And Ray is just saying, that,
You know what?
he wanted to, like, destroy everything, and, like, how he was bound to Gozer and everything. So, yeah, there's just so much that's going to happen in the next issue, because I believe it was Lewis that was still... Oh, they were both still in the possession of Tiamat, and things are getting a little bit out of control. So they're going to need a little bit of luck to do that. And there's this nice picture right here we get at the end of the comic book, which I want to share. So yeah, things are going to get very all over the place with this. This was almost Book of the Week, but I definitely recommend you guys check this out if you have or haven't yet, because 30 years, it's going to be canceled, which I don't like. My Book of the Week has to go to, from Dark Horse Comics, Tomb Raiders issue number 5. Laura Croft is now going to the island to rescue her friend Sam. I believe it was, oh god, start with the letter T, but... Before we get into that, talks where Laura Croft and Sam had their times together, Yamata. She goes there with her weapons to find out also about the Sun Queen and the artifacts that she has. She goes to see Matsu-sama, who has Sam captured. and all that stuff. Here's some artwork, for example, which is excellently drawn. And there's just so much adventures that she goes through. It's just Lara Croft being Lara Croft that we know, like using arrows and, you know, killing people. Well, not killing people in the, like, you know, like just basically using her skills to get through what she has to get through. And there's this guy who she once fell in love with. What was his name? Alex. And she goes underwater and sees Alex, where he gives her something. If you want to know what it is, read the book. And this guy, who we saw actually from issues back, finally makes an appearance in this comic book. And his name is Danny, and he knows her father because he knows of her history about her father. You know, from the video game, you learn a little bit more. But things are going to be very difficult for Lara Croft to try to get out of a situation that relates to, you know, trying to save her friend Sam and everything. And oh boy, book of the week, really great stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading more stuff from Tomb Raider, and it's just amazing. Absolutely highest recommendation to buy. That's it.
Alright, we're in the digital books now. We got 14 digital books. Let's waste no time and jump into Black of Heart, issue number 3.
Yes, and that is by Chris Charleston.
Indeed, it's Alien Comics.
Yes, and in this comic book, the two detectives of Drake and Tom, they're still trying to uncover the mystery of who that crazy taxi driver was that killed that woman. Because their boss is saying, you know, it's been so many months and we've been waiting and waiting and it's just nothing has been found yet. So they're trying their best to find out, you know, who did what. It keeps going back to the part where we see who the guy is, but we don't know what his name is, at least from what I've read. The artwork, though, I have to say, is very... Like, it has, like, you know, like a splash color thing.
Kind of a blurry watercolor.
Yeah, like a watercolor, thank you. In a good way, though. I'm not saying it's bad. It's really in a good way. And, you know, they're just going to a bar, the both of them, you know, just to, because, you know, that's what detectives do sometimes, you know, to hang out and stuff like that. And from what I see...
They're being haunted.
Well, yeah, they're being haunted, but also, as the issue continues... They almost get the guy who actually was the killer, because I am skipping some stuff because I want you guys to read this, because other stuff's kind of a little disturbing, which I don't want to describe, but you just have to see it for yourself. This is for adults, by the way. This comic book, because there is lots of blood, lots of stuff, you know, and swearings here and there. Definitely not for kids, so just wanted to point that out there. So, as the issue continues, both Drake and Tom, they see that there was the taxi driver, which they're familiar with, but, you know, they get away, and there's also a little moment where I think Drake left his wife, I think. Was it Drake? Yeah, that left his wife because of all the stuff that was going on, and they're going through a divorce, so to say. And when she leaves... Patty. When Patty goes and leaves for the taxi driver, she goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, literally, after just looking at something. And I think it has something to do with the taxi driver, because she just goes Joker, seriously, at the end of this issue. So, you know, the only question that remains after reading this comic book is that eventually, Drake and Tom are going to have to find out who that crazy taxi driver is, because I want to know his name and everything else about it. But this is actually really great stuff in this comic book. This I give a 5 out of 5, but if you want to check out more, you can go to assaliencomics.com, where Chris Charleston and the rest of the writers and artists have their comic books, and there are more new projects that I hear that are going to be coming out.
Looking forward to it.
And I'm definitely looking forward to it. And they will be reviewed right here in the Indie Comic Review. But Black of Heart, definitely go check that out. It's really great stuff. For adults, that is.
I believe this is the only Dynamite book we have next to a few others. But I'm going to start off with Mark Waid's Green Hornet, issue number 13. This concludes the story arc we're in now. I don't know, a few people told me that the book's ending. I don't believe that's true. But anyway, last issue, Green Hornet's costume went missing. And somebody is going around pretending to be Green Hornet. And we're in the future a little bit at the beginning of the book where the Green Hornet fake is actually... what's the word I'm looking for? Confronted by Britt Reed, who is the real Green Hornet. Then it jumps back to 2 days ago, where Britt's trying to find out how somebody found a way to steal his costume, and him and Kato figure out it has to be an inside job because there was no break-in. The only thing that was taken was the costume, and that's all. So it's an inside job, and him and Kato are the only ones that are on the inside, right? Now you're starting to think already, I'm sure, if you've been reading this series right along. Skipping this part right here, for you guys, you really should read it. And then we go into the Green Hornet, who strikes again. He strikes at one of the gangs that is led by the real Green Hornet, Britt Reed. And he has Casey trying to figure out where this new Green Hornet is going to strike next so he could stop him. So she finds out, she tells him where to go. He sends Kato, actually, and he actually goes to confront the fake Green Hornet at the Bank of Chicago. Spoiler alert here, because this is the rest of the story. We go back to where we were at the beginning of the comic, and Britt unmasks the Green Hornet, and spoiler, it's Casey. Casey feels that the Green Hornet needs to continue doing his work, and Britt, if he's giving up, then somebody has to continue. And she purposely gives herself up to the police. She knocks Britt out and gives herself up. And Britt's like, I have the best lawyer, we'll get you out. She's like, no, let me stay in here. I did this on purpose. I want to be here. I can get you information from the inside. You can't get any more inside than in prison. So let me stay here and I'll feed you information. And he lets her stay. And she tells him how important the Green Hornet is and how much he's needed. And then at the end of the issue...
Is he wanted?
He is.
Yeah, he is wanted for a reward.
Yeah, but at the end of the issue, you have Britt putting the Green Hornet costume back on again. Not even an issue later, and he's back out to doing what he does best because the Green Hornet is needed and the Green Hornet needs to be where he's at. And that's where it... ends.
That's what I like about heroes, when they finally realize that they're needed, you know, because they always say like, oh, I'm gonna, well, I'll get to that too, because there was a comic book that's opposite of what...
I just really enjoyed the issue, I will say that, and I don't know if it's the last one or not. I doubt it's the last one, because I didn't hear anything about an ending for a Green Hornet, but really loved this issue. If the series was going to end, this was the best way to end it, but I'd like to see more, especially with Casey in prison. So continuing with Dynamite, Mike has Flash Gordon, issue number 3.
Yes, and in the last issue, we found out that the Emperor found out that the guy was Flash, who was from Earth. So, as for his punishment of knowing that they know who he is, like, they want to put him in an arena where they know that he won't survive. And basically these two friends are just going to watch and see what happens. So the Emperor said, do not kill, like, I don't want to kill Flash. I forgot what the Emperor's name was. Like, saying, I don't want to kill Flash. Like,
Ming.
Says, I don't want to kill Flash. Like, I just want to see what he does in the arena. And there's like a whole bunch of other dialogue, like, which kind of got a little bit boring. Like, not too boring, like, just a little bit boring. And it gets to the point where we get to the arena where it shows a preview of who's going to be inside the arena and who Flash Gordon is going to fight. And it's going to be a rigorous task, so you know that Flash Gordon is going to be, you know. And then Flash Gordon's like overconfident, saying, well, I eat you guys for breakfast, I could take all of you out. But see, here's the thing. he tries to get to them saying what Ming really is. And the thing that really got me interested was that some of them said, you know, since you just told me about Ming and who he really is, I'm going to help you. So instead of fighting them, half of the people that were going against him actually defend him against the other people that were there. And Ming's like saying, you know, what the hell's going on? Like, why is it, you know, why are they not attacking him and some helping him? The artwork's really amazing, though. I will say that much. And there's one person that was defending him, and I think he like gave him like some type of bag of those explosive gems, so to say. And it was one of the guys that we saw in the beginning of the comic book that knew it was Flash when someone called out his name. And there's lots of explosions in the end, and what happens after that? Well, that's going to be continued in the next Flash Gordon issue. So it's going pretty good. I'm enjoying reading that, and we'll find out what happens next after the explosion.
Next we have Solar Man of the Atom, issue number 3.
Yes.
I should say Daughter of the Atom, because 2 to 1 she's going to take up where he left off.
This issue was really good, where it talks about really Erica, which is her daughter, becoming...
His daughter.
Yeah, his daughter becoming Solar. Now see, he could see him...
She could see him.
Wait, let me rephrase that. Erica could see her father, whereas no one else can. So she goes to the doctor and tells her about what happened and everything, and she has a nice new suit, actually, for her superhero-esque form, where it actually connects to her and everything, and she has to learn how to use it. Now the thing is that the way she has to use it is she has to do some stuff, but we'll get to that, you know, in a few moments. So there's also a thing that happened. Go up, actually, because there was a little scene right there where they found out something about there was like a bit of an offer that was mentioned, which you can definitely read the comic book and to find out what it was. So Erica is just trying to find out, you know, what that robot was that attacked her. So there's a robot that's coming, and then her father's saying you got to use math in order to defeat them, because she's like saying I could defeat them without math and all that stuff, because she thinks, you know, everything's going to be easy, like just one punch, boom, they're dead. And the father's trying to say you're wrong. If you use this math term, you can break the robot's defense shield and actually defeat him, because math is one way of defeating the robot. So she's trying to learn and everything, but she's like saying, oh, it's too hard, my head is hurting and everything else. So she just blasts the robot, and then that's it. Just took it all apart. That was one robot. But let's just say there's more than one that she's going to have to handle. So she's going to have to either open that textbook of her mind to get that math going, because she's going to need it. A lot of it. That's all I'm saying. To be continued. Really amazing book.
And then I'm going to jump in with the only Image book we have this week, and that is Chew, issue number 42. Agent Cho is on the case of the death of, what was the SEAL's name? Sammy the... forgot the SEAL's name, but it's Sammy the SEAL, and
you told me this
Polio come in. This was a very weird one. So apparently, after what happened in the last issue, what's his name? I want to make sure I got it right. Kali is welcomed into the Appleby family. Appleby is the head of the FDA, and or FBA. But anyway. So it's kind of like this is the weird part, it was kind of like a wedding reception, even though they're not married, and the whole family's there, and the whole thing was weird, and he hates Cho. He said he actually sent Cho on a mission under the sea here, Sammy the SEAL, who was an agent. He was killed because he found something out, and we don't know, and they don't know who had killed him, so Cho was sent there. Through Appleby, who recommended him, to find out who killed the seal.
What the hell was that?
That was an octopus.
That's an
Which
octopus?
is a chicken.
Octo chicken? Oh god.
Don't worry about it.
Just go.
Anyway, he sent Cho there for 3 weeks. And Cho freaks out when he hears this and says, you know what? Nope, we're not doing this. He takes off his disguise. He says, I'm Agent Cho, and you know what? I'm going to get down to who killed Salmon Seal right now. He goes one by one with everybody, tasting this, that, and the other thing, saying, you're innocent, you're innocent, you're innocent. And then one guy's gigantic head morphs into a shark, and he just admits right out, I killed Salmon, but that's because he ate my fish. And he ends up killing the guy. I'm not going to say how. You can read the book to find out. And then the end of the book, I'm leaving what's going on at the Applebee welcoming of Kali into the Applebee's. I'm leaving that out for you guys to figure out. And then we get Chicken is Doomed as our ending page. And that's all I'm saying there.
What?
Chew is a very unique series. I'm enjoying it. If you have not been reading Chew, you're going to be completely lost like this boy is.
In my opinion,
and not
I don't
understand
like
a
it.
thing that's going on, but I love the series. It's really fun read, and I would definitely recommend it. Let's jump into, let's switch over 2 seconds, and then we'll jump into some Valiant books. So give us just a second, and we're going to continue with this week's Indie Review. Okay? Now we have Exo Man of War issue number 26. Armor Wars continues. How is it, Michael?
Let me just show the picture.
Because I'm behind.
Yeah, apparently I could just shorten this to make it brief. There's this one guy that comes into this bar and everything, and he's like, you know how when people say, you know, oh,
There's like a lot of talking, yeah.
Yeah, like he was basically saying, you know, just don't go too fast, please, because I want to get to some details. Like saying, like, you know, there's something horrible that's going on, and nobody's believing him, but there's one person that's actually believing him because of, like, there's this big robot that's going around and just killing people and whatnot, you know, and there's one guy that actually believes him. So the two of them actually go with them. I think his name is Talia? Talia? Like they mention it. And you know, and then they're both of them are going to help him out and see if this guy's telling the truth or not. So that they actually wins. So Wins actually witnessed that it is the guy in the armor. But see, here's the thing. I don't think
it's not Arak.
Yeah, it's not Arak in that costume.
It's another Exo.
Yeah, I think it's another Exo because what the robot's doing is not what Arak would do. So whoever it is, I know it's someone different. Now I'm calling that right now. If it is Arak, then there's gotta be a lot of backstory that needs to be explained of how he turned out that way. So after they find out, there's like a whole bunch of other stuff that happens, and actually they get an offer from the Emperor. No, you were just there. That guy. Like, he's trying to put a team together in order of how they can destroy the Exo costume, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the Exo Man of War.
Yeah, the Exo Man of War. So they're trying to put a team together to stop, you know, Exo Man of War from destroying and everything else. So you could definitely check out the comic book and see that, but it's getting all over the place. But I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it now. It's not going to be Arak that's in that armor.
A book you almost missed, Shadow Man End Time.
Yeah,
issue
because
number 3.
I didn't see it in there, but I could just really sum that up too. It's basically Jack looking for his father and wants to find out answers and stuff like that. And he tries to find out where he is by doing something very graphic. And I'm not going to say what that was. So his father actually comes out, you know, as the issue progresses, whereas well, the artwork's really
nice. The artwork's really, really
I think
nice.
it did change a little bit, but it's really nice. So he finds out where his father is after the guy told him the answer, and actually works with him for that reason, because they said that he wasn't going to work with him. I just can't remember the name now because it leaves me at this point. So Jack meets with
his father.
I think it's Joshua. I don't know if that's really his name. Do not quote me. I think it is. And they have a long talk scene with each other about how he left the mother years ago, for what reason, and that's because he had the shadow LOA in him to make him do all of these stuff, because the shadow possessed him to do everything, and now the entity is connected to Jack, which is why the father gave it to his son, so he wouldn't have to live through that whole possession thing. And there's a whole thing of where he sees the mother again, and he hasn't seen her in so many years, and it just gets really crazy. And then the girl who was mad at him because of swiping her off, she was gonna go to Texas, and that sniffing glue girl comes in and says, you should go back because I haven't heard from Jack and he might be in trouble. So we don't know if she's gonna return now, which she probably will after that happened. So Jack and the father have a little bit of a fight scene with each other. Like, they talk, and then one of them throws a punch. Then they talk again. So it's like on and off. We're gonna talk, then I'm gonna hit you, and then we're gonna talk again. But the father seems to be a little bit stronger. But the son, or I should say Jack, heard the thing say, the possession of Shadow saying to kill him, and spoiler, he does, and everything goes a little bit haywire. So basically the whole journey of finding his father wound up him killing his father. And then
Dark, by the way.
What happened?
Dark is his name. Darky?
No, that's the person who comes in afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. And he has a talk with him of saying that, they go up again? That there is going to be a new shadow that is going to begin. And that's the end of that. So basically, I'm just going to see if I can get this straight. Jack wanted to find his father. And in the next issue, and in this issue he does. And then when they have a fight and everything, the shadow possession says to kill him, and then he kills his father. Isn't that kind of like a little bit of a waste of time, in my opinion? Because we find out some answers that Jack wanted to know about the shadow LOA and everything. But then this happens. And now there's a new shadow that's going to begin. Which is interesting. But it just leads to the part where I didn't expect Jack to kill his father just because of all that. That to me, that kind of sounded like a waste a little bit.
And I was wrong. Apparently there are 2 more Image books. First one is Revival, issue number 21.
Oh,
what did you think of Revival, Mike?
Revival, unlike the last issue, I'm telling you, my mind was going in many different directions with this. Like, it goes to, I think, Dana, where she's trying to look for answers and stuff like that, and then it goes to the hospital where they're trying to find some research about something that deals with the human body or something like that. And I really don't know if I could explain this book because it just keeps going.
Did you notice the Shadow Man?
Yeah, there's a guy that has Shadow Man tattoo, I know. Because it went from one place to another place to something that's mixed up here, and then it goes back and forth. My mind's like, okay, I don't know if I was going nuts or if it was just the comic book. And to be honest, it was a comic book. Because then they meet this guy, the headless guy that says Dala, whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that was. And there's like this big octopus that one of the child's grandfathers was talking to. It was like an old friend of theirs that they knew history about each other. Then it goes in a forest where these 2 guys are talking about some other stuff, and you could read it because I wasn't really that interested in it. Well, unless it had to do with how those 2 people that we saw in the beginning met each other or something like that. And the artwork was kind of but my god. After I read this issue and was it to be continued, I'm like, okay, in the next issue, If it does this again, I am not letting my brain go through that, because my brain goes through so much with all these going in different directions and everything that this comic, because then they had this mini other stuff I didn't bother reading that, because after reading that I had to let my brain rest for like 15 minutes until I had to read the next comic book.
How was Dream Police? Dream Police issue number 3.
Dream Police was okay. This one. And when I mean okay, I mean a good okay. Dream Police, in this issue, it's, what was the guy's name? Because I know his sidekick is Kate, because she doesn't like to be called
Joey
Katie.
Thursday?
Yeah, thank you. Joey Thursday. They're both going on a case where, like, you know how when they say that they don't dream and everything? Well, we learn a little bit about Joey that he does dream of these visions that happen. And there's this one guy that meets up with a policeman who did a killing. So then Joey brings him in for evidence and saying, what are you talking about? I didn't commit that crime. Now, afterwards, they're trying to figure out that there must be something that weird behind all this, which leads into that. And then there's this whole thing about never touching the black files or anything. So there has to be a reason behind that, because they're not allowed to look into it because it's highly classified. So it's more focused on Joey Thursday, you know, how he goes back to, you know, his house and everything else. So then he talks with this guy who is a shapeshifter of some sort. So they finally find out that it could have been him that shapeshifted into the police. But see, here's what they found out. How it wasn't the guy. They found out the badge number was backwards, and the rest of it was very odd, because the police doesn't wear that. Mm-hmm. So that's how they found out it wasn't really the guy that killed him, it was the shapeshifter that shapeshifted into this person. And yeah, it was part of the whole dream thing of just seeing visions and everything, where Dream Police doesn't sleep, but they see things. Or basically he sees things, from what I read. So it was interesting to learn a little bit more about Joey Thursday, but it was okay.
Jumping into Dark Horse for a couple of issues. Halo Escalation, issue number 7. This focused on Gabriel Thorne. The entire issue is about him, his childhood. He's having these nightmares. He doesn't want to go home, but his friend, I forgot her name, Grant, tells him maybe he should go home, you know, face whatever this nightmare is and see what's up, you know, see, maybe he'll get better. He hasn't been to Earth for a while. He's not happy going back, but he does go back to his old house. He finds things weird. He talks a lot about his grandmother after his parents passed away, and he's like, it wasn't a good idea for me to come here. She's like, you needed this, you needed the closure. I'm here with you to, you know, as support, but you need to do this. You know, you were brought here, your dreams are telling you something, just listen to them. He does. He gives a little bit of honor for his family. He plays the violin. He played it when he was a kid, so he plays it again, just a moment to honor his family. And then it goes back to where they're back in space, and they're jumping to, they're just jumping into slip space. And it says the next issue, the Master Chief. This issue...
Oh, is he going to be in it?
This issue is more along the lines of a transition issue, or just a story to throw in a story, I feel. So it was a really good story, but again, it was more of a just in-between transition story more than anything else.
Okay.
And that's it. Next, Mike, Captain Midnight issue number, 12.
Yes, and this is a brand new story arc, because it begins a whole new Captain Midnight. So it goes back issues where, what we've seen already. He teamed up with X and Ghost, and I don't remember reading that unless I skipped it.
You might have missed it by accident.
I might have missed it, but if I did, that's a real shame, because I read X and Ghost, which is right there. That's X and that's Ghost. So basically it's, his name,
Rick.
I think it's Rick. Well, basically, he goes through the whole thing of
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Jim Albright. That's his name. Jim Albright. He goes through the whole thing of, that he isn't going to be Captain Midnight anymore because of everything that's been going on. Like, he feels the world doesn't need Captain Midnight, only Jim Albright. And that's it. I mean, that's what the whole comic's about. Like, there's this one guy who he meets, and he kind of looked a little shady, and I thought maybe it was just me, but actually I was right, because he said to this person, I've seen Jim Albright, and I know that he's Captain Midnight because of, talking about the whole World War and everything, which led into the last page, where after he said, I'm not going to be Captain Midnight anymore, I'm just going to be Jim Albright, Captain Midnight's retired, like in the Shadow Midnight in Moscow thing, now it's similar to that, where he's going to be.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to have his base blown up.
Yeah, but we all know he is going to be Captain Midnight again, because this is what I was trying to say before, what you said about the Green Hornet becoming the hero again. This is how it goes. They retire, they become the hero again, and then that. So why are you going to retire if you're going to be a hero?
So
it's cold.
Speaking of Ghost, we have Ghost issue number 5. How was that?
Ghost issue number 5 was a little bit creepy, but it was an interesting issue to read about. Like, basically, she goes through, like, we know a little bit more about her and what she does and everything. I mean, we've known about her in many issues, including her origin story and everything. And she just fights crime and everything, as, herself and everything.
Demons. She finds
demons.
Also.
She does change her name to, I believe, Alicia. Let me go up, because it's on her, up a little bit more. Like right there.
Alicia Cameron?
Yeah, Alicia Cameron. So now she changed her ID and everything because probably they know who she was. There was this creepy clown that's for children that they said. It was like a TV show that they grew up with. It was called, like, basically he looked like a Joker, basically. Like, where he does, like, magic tricks and everything. It was a hard name to pronounce, so I can't even remember how it is. But anyway, so she wanted to meet with him to see, answers about, of why, if those tricks means that he actually kills people. So the way she'll find him is to go to Warehouse M. And she does manage to find her way there, but to get through the people that are, in her way and everything, along with, I believe Tom his name is, that helps her out with all of where to go and everything. She gets through them within a breeze, but as the issue continues after she fought them, she meets up with the guy and, well, he says his name is Satan, but I think things are going to get a little bit haywire unless she's going to be his next experiment of murder. I don't know. But that was kind of creepy a little bit.
We've been waiting for this for a while, this book.
Yes, and I have 2 covers for this, which I am going to show.
IDW Super Secret Crisis War for Cartoon Network.
This right here is the hero, and next to it is the villain cover. I just want to be sure if it's shown.
This book mostly was the heroes getting captured by the villains, if you ask me.
Oh my god, yes.
Samurai Jack gets captured by a coup. Ben 10 gets captured by, I don't even know who he got captured by.
I can't remember. I don't know if it was, it wasn't King Hiss, because that was his arch enemy. It was some other guy. Then Mandar captured Dexter, and then Mojo Jojo got
captured the Powerpuff Girls. And then they just captured Ed, Edd and Eddy, literally just teleported them after sending a couple of robots.
Yeah, but notice that after when the villain, but see, here's the reason why they're capturing them. Because the villains want the heroes to help them conquer the world. And we all know that that's, the heroes aren't going to help that. But to see villains actually capture the good guys,
That was crazy.
That was crazy. I mean, for those of you out there who like the villains and that they capture superheroes, then that's a book for you. However, there are one-shots that are coming out.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. This is going on all the way through to November. From June all the way through to November, we have issues 1 through 6 of the series. However, starting July this month, we'll be getting one-shots once a month. In July, we get the Johnny Bravo one-shot. In August, we get the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy one-shot. In September, we get Foster Home for Imagination Friends. October, I'm looking forward to because we're getting Cow and Chicken.
Yep.
And then November, we conclude it with The Kids Next Door.
Codename Kids Next Door.
Whatever. I'm looking forward to Cow and Chicken because I remember that series when I was a kid. I enjoyed watching Cow and Chicken.
I love that, yeah. That was a great book, though, of the Super Crisis.
But it was really straightforward and a quick read, in my opinion.
Yeah, it actually took me 5 minutes, the Super Secret Crisis War comic book.
And finally this week, The Seventh Sword, issue number 3.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like this issue, Mike?
Right here. Surprised you didn't read it because of
I missed it. I had to skip
but
it.
yeah, but anyway, it's basically Cray teaching the students of how to find everything. Of course, he got rid of some people because he felt that they actually left willingly when they took their name off the board. And there was a war that was coming, and they're telling Cray, you know, like, you gotta teach him and everything. And there's this robotic woman that comes in, which was, you know, kind of weird. So then he's teaching them the whole martial arts and fighting and everything, and techniques of what they can use, like, you know, like when to use it and how to use it. Basically teaching them the whole forms of martial arts and jiu-jitsu with the whole sword and everything, which comes later on. So they want to party, and they say to Cray, you know, just loosen up a little bit, you know, like go out a little bit and party. So he didn't want to go inside first, but then there was a little girl that actually convinced him to go inside, and I thought that was kind of, you know, very touching moment there. And it's just the whole thing of Cray just about himself, you know, after the whole party thing of just trying to help and everything, and there's just a lot of stuff that happens afterwards. But see, here's the thing. There is a war that we know that's coming, but drastic calls for drastic measures where they're going to use something else to probably help them out in the war. And what is it? You're going to have to read the book to find out, because...
Or we'll tell you in the next issue.
Or we'll tell you in the next issue, but it is too huge to spoil. So, for those of you out there who like stuff that are the Bushido samurais and stuff like that, or a little bit of a Highlander, but a little bit different from that. Basically, anything martial arts, jiu-jitsu like that is your favorite, such as my favorite, reading that comic book, absolutely definitely pick it up. Really great book to read, and I can't wait to read more of that. So yeah.
And that's it for this week, guys. Don't forget to check out comic-related Comic Frontline and Zone4Podcast.com. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Guys, feel free to leave comments below. Like, dislike, agree, disagree, recommendations. We love them all. And your comments will be heard this Friday on the weekly comic book haul. Whether it be a question or a statement, we will be answering it on there.
Yep.
Look forward to the recaps this week, God willing. I should be at this moment, as we were doing this, I am uploading the podcast, so that should come up either right before or right after this video. And the Big 2 will be, like I said, everything's a day late, so the Big 2 review is scheduled for Monday night into Tuesday morning. So
and we all hope that you had a wonderful 4th of July. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
So until next time, everybody, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.